Hey there cats, good time of the day to you and thank you for tuning into my channel. Today I'm playing Sunrise GP one more time and I'm not sure where to start, so let's just get down straight to business. So first thing I really didn't like about this game is that my favorite car, GAZ24, which I'm driving right now, was very slow. I mean, it was slower than the first car that is given to you in, by default, the starter car. So I've actually modified the game. I've removed the speed limit and multiplied by 2 some crucial parameter like torque or horsepower or velocity, something that I've multiplied by 2, just the power of the car. So, something like that. So right now we do not have speed limit, we don't have speed cap at all. We can if we will have an infinite straight road, the car will accelerate to infinity and beyond. And our cars are twice as more powerful than they are in the actual game. But I'm okay with it, because as for now I've completed this game like 3 times, so I'm cool just driving around. And that's all I want. That's really all I want in this game. Racing in this game feels like secondary stuff. But I'll get to it a bit later. For now, let me mention the AI here. As you see, I've already labbed the AI, and I gotta say it was better. It just can't handle the modifications I've made to this game at all. I mean, it's not like AI was way too bright or really skilled, but it had a nice catch-up mechanics, very visible, but it did its job and it provided you with challenge. But as I've modded the game, as I've modified it, yeah, it can't do nothing against me and I'm lapping them like no trouble at all. But as I've said, this game feels like just driving, and it is nice driving it, So it kind of makes me think that perhaps there should be a cozy game about driving. There are those cozy games when you bake cakes and do stuff, I don't know. And there are no cozy games where you just sit in a car and drive. There are several games where you are a passenger, like, hitchhiker, but there are no games where you are a driver, or at least none that I know of. And this kind of a cozy driving game where you just go forward along the highway taking on the scenery is the kind of a game that comes into my mind when I play Sunrise GP. Because, frankly, the biggest plus of Sunrise GP is its design, its maps. Maps, the ambience, the atmosphere, I mean, just take a look around. It is minimalistic, but it is very beautiful, or at least it looks so to my eye. And physics are very nice, actually. I mean, they're simple, but they're good for what they are. Yeah, could have been better perhaps, but they do their job rather nicely. And what can I say? Unless you are jumping in your car, it's alright, but there are only very few jumps in this game. And man, I'm playing Need for Speed Pro Street right now, like back to back to the Sunrise GP, and if you are jumping in Need for Speed Pro Street, physics are getting all finicky there as well. So if EA Games could get away with funky jumping physics, so can a small indie developer from Poland. That's my opinion. So yeah, let's check it as the pluses of the game, the physics and the maps. The biggest minus here is that the game is kind of very small. There are only 10 maps and 20 races, and that's why I've completed it 3 times already. I mean, you can do it in a day and be done with it. On the other hand, it feels just enough given the current state of the game. I mean, there are minuses here. Some of them I've already mentioned, but there are others. For example, aside from my completely biased opinion that GAZ24 is way too slow because I'm actually a fan of the car, there are some core issues. The main stuff here is the complete lack of replayability. Take a note of the starting line in each of the races I'm doing. Take a look at my opponents. 3 same cars every time in every race. I mean, come on, man. Sosik, I know you're watching this, so you gotta fix it up, man. I mean, opponents, they pick random upgrades, but every time they pick the same car, and yeah, that's getting tiresome. Gotta fix it up. And I really like to race versus that Upir Sperato Skoda. Yeah, I'd like to race against that car. I could have probably modded the game to make it myself, but, you know, too much effort for nothing, I guess. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Another, like, huge minus of this game is the fact that you are really slow by default. As I've said, it doesn't apply only to GAS24. There are a lot of slow cars who have top speed at like 140 or so kilometers per hour. And it is very slow, man. For a racing game, it is really darn slow, I don't know. Once again, as I've said, it's probably better off as just, you know, driving game, relaxing driving game. But as you have to fight the clock and opponents, 140 kilometers per hour is not enough. As I've removed the speed limit and increased the power of the cars, it feels much more lively right now, you know? Even though I feel that you really cannot move past 200 kilometers per hour. I feel like when you reach 200 kilometers per hour, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like the speedometer keeps going up, but the model doesn't actually go faster. Maybe it's just my feeling, but on the other hand, you do not need to go that fast. There are no that much straight lines, that long straight lines in the game either way. So yeah, 200 kilometers per hour is just enough. And there are cars which go 200 kilometers per hour. I don't know. I think it is. I can say that overall the game feels kind of disbalanced. Some cars are very slow, some cars are very fast, and yeah, handling differs a little, of course, but not radically to call it all balanced, you know. And you can win the game with the slowest car, you can win the game with the fastest car, but this is only because of the AI's catch-up mechanics, which I've already mentioned. Not because of your skill or anything like that. So racing doesn't feel quite rewarded or so, you know. Another plus of this game I want to mention is the customization. I've told it to Sosik on his Discord server back when he was patching Electro Ride that Electro Ride needs customization, at least rims or something. That never went anywhere in Electro Ride, but Sosik made customization for this game, and this is really nice, you know. Even though I'm kinda, me personally, I'm kinda surprised by the amount of the Bossa Zoku parts, which I almost never use. Still, there are enough parts for any player to personalize his car whichever way he wants. And this is not much, just several parts here and there, but this is more than enough to personalize your car. And as I've told to Sosik once again back then in Electro Ride days, just that much customization is more than enough for the player to make the car feel, you know, personal, something like his thing. So yeah, whatever little customization we have is awesome. Another minus, though, once again, remembering Electro Ride had kick-ass nitros mechanics. You know, where you have to pick the color of the nitros, and if you pick the wrong line, your car changes color. It was awesome, it was simple and awesome. Because it made you go out of your ways on your lap, out of your lines, out of your trajectory to hit those nitros. I really expected something similar in Sunrise GP, but instead it has no nitros mechanics at all, not even simple nitros. I'm surprised, and at the same time it feels like, you know, like something the game could use. So I know, yeah, not all games need nitros, but remembering Electro Ride, I'm just surprised that Sunrise GP doesn't have nitros at all. Overall, the game's biggest strength is its map design, its cars, which now can be customized. Once again, the game is unique in the, in the lineup department, so to say. No other game features such a massive lineup of cars from Eastern Europe of the previous century. This is what scares me, by the way. I'm afraid that someone will eventually pick up, some of the big companies will eventually pick up on this absence of the game like this and will make some big flashy game that will simply overshadow all other small games like this one. But alright, back on topic. The biggest drawbacks of the Sunrise GP right now are its complete lack of replayability and overall, kind of slowliness of the game, Once again, physics feel really nice. There are a lot of cool small touches, like the brakes do not have ABS, so they're going to be locked up if you're pressing on the brake too hard. Some people may be surprised by that, but this is how brakes without ABS work. And contact with other rivals feels very nice, so occasional, ramming is actually really pleasant. Still, something is lacking, and I'd say the main issue is speed. If the AI could keep up with my mod right here, which I've made in like 5 minutes, it would have felt much more lively. But by default, even nitros are not here, so Sunrise GP is not fast enough to be a racing game. Yet there is competition, so it is not a cozy driving game either. Still, it is small, and if you are a fan of the Eastern European cars of the previous age, there are not many games you can turn to, and in that case, Sunrise GP can definitely make for a pleasant day. I mean, take a look at that Gas 24. Ain't it beautiful? I'd say it's gorgeous, man. So yeah, if you're like me, Sunrise GP is definitely a title I recommend to try out. It is publicly available on Switch and on Xbox, I believe. And by the way, this game is still in development after all, as all games today are. So yeah, things as well might change for the best in Sunrise GP, but as for now, this is it. Stay cool, cats. Good luck.